Jim, in the green room, you said that Shedeur Sanders had it coming. And you were so happy. He was punked during the NFL draft weekend. The Falcons say Jax Ulbrich. I already don't like him because his name is spelled J-A-X. Who does that? That's their defensive coordinator's son. Found Sanders' phone's number at his parents' house, wrote it down, but it wasn't Jax's voice on the other end. Why did you do this?
I did it because I wanted to have something to talk about on Gutfeld. I was very happy it happened. I feel a little bad for the guy. I mean, it's like you do, but I mean, this is the way the magnitude and the gravity they're giving it. You know, we're appalled and shocked. It's like just everything is not that dramatic. It was kind of a dick move. It sucks. I used to call bomb threats into my high school. Those are the prank calls I made in the '80s. I would do that. Like I made prank calls. Like,
and the weird thing is, you were 30.
Yes, I was, but I wanted to watch them run out in the rain while I sat in my limousine.
It actually wasn't. Well, it was a student. He graduated 15 years ago.
Or dropped out.
Tyrus, what's your feeling on this story? Can you explain why this guy's so controversial?
Well, there's a couple of reasons why. I think it bothers him who his father is.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times the NFL, when they're dealing with black athletes, they like that oh, I'm just happy to be here mentality, where Shakur is like, I'm supposed to be here. And that's, you know, hey, the NFL is the NFL, but the prank itself was fine, but the methods of how the prank came down is the problem.
Yeah.
The defense coordinator needs to be fired.
Oh, really?
Imagine your personal. We all sit here and we're like, oh, it's not a big deal. But if Greg entrusted me, you have my personal. I give all your stuff because I'm trying to make the show, and you leave it out. Leave it out. Let's just think about that. He just left out the guy that everyone has problems with information for his son to find. That's itself. Like, come on, man, don't talk slick to an oil can. You did it. You thought it was funny, but the ramifications was his personal information. Everything on that data sheet, from weight, height, all his information's on that piece of paper. This person now has it that you're entrusted with. If it was any other, if it was a bank and your account numbers got out and somebody pranked you and they moved your money from one account to the other side, you'd be furious. So it's the same thing. The defensive coordinator needs to be fired. There's not much prank call, whatever. He actually sucked at it, whoever did the call. But to do that, it looks more like, given what we're seeing now, is that they thought they were so clever and funny, and I feel like the dad had more of a role that he just left his laptop open on the guy that they weren't drafting, because you just drafted a quarterback last year who's starting for you now, and you have a veteran in there. So there was no reason for Shakur's information to even be on his computer, because they went all defense in the draft. So he's full of him and his son were in on it, so he needs to be fired. Whoa. Because of his giving out somebody's personal information is beyond the pale, because he shouldn't have been doing it in the first place.
All right. Emily, should this young man, Jax, be executed?
I'm always up for
People are wondering. Some are saying.
My best friend's dog is named Jax.
Oh, really? That's right. Well, that's a dog.
Exactly. It's a fitting dog name. It reminded me of growing up. I would never call in a bomb threat, but I had a Swatch phone where both sides of it were actual receivers. So you could sit on the phone with a girlfriend and we would both be on the phone at the same time. And then we would prank call everyone, which would consist of just calling the boy we had a crush on and then hanging up, and laughing hysterically. That was you. That was me. The stakes of this, I think, are so high, though. And I'm trying to decide who should be more embarrassed. Him, that he was the butt of such a prank, or the defensive coordinator. And I loved you educating us about that, how egregious this was. But if there wasn't such an invasive, media coverage of the draft and how sort of, objectifying it is, then there wouldn't have been that want and need to do the prank, But I also think this is the day and age of swatting. Mm-hmm. There should be way more deterrence.
Charles, what do you make of this whole story? Boys will be boys, as I like to say, down at the bar.
I don't want to sound like one of these old guys that everything was better in the past, but prank calls were a lot better in the past. I'm thinking Jerky Boys, right? Come on, hey, Jerky, you just got drafted. I'm like,
we should have practiced.
Yeah, that was an awful prank call.
Yeah.
Now, until Tyrus went Columbo on us, I didn't even think of it this way. But you brought up some brilliant. Yeah. I'm just thinking, high-profile guy, a lot of haters out there. The dude's made a ton of money in college. He's going to make a lot of money in the pros. I don't know that anyone should be fired per se. I think the Sanders family should just use it as fuel for the fire and just keep moving.
Interesting. Well, I have no opinion on this. I just thought it would be an interesting story to cover.
You were right.
Thank you.
This is new for you. This story had nothing to do with poop.
I know. I did a lot of prank phone calls involving poop. I used,
No.
Yes. I used to tape record me in the bathroom flushing the toilet, and then I would just call random people and just. We used to have, when you had a phone book, you could just pull numbers out of the thing. And then they invented Star 69, and that ruined my life.
Star 67, though, you can still do them. If you block it with Star 67, I still do them, but I do them good-natured. Like, I'll call up to someone, I'll say, is your refrigerator running? When they say yes, I'll say, that's great news, your food won't spoil.
Sometimes, you know what I'll do? I will call a bomb factory and tell them there's a math test at 3 o'clock.
Maybe you should guys.
That's funny, you guys. See what I did? I flipped it.
Yeah.
You people just aren't laughing.
Because they're thinking like I'm thinking, go outside and play.
Yes.
Like, what are you doing
Some
indoors
of
all
us
day
didn't
by your
have
phone?
friends, Tyrus. Some of us.
Visible friends like to play outside too, Greg.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.